Dan Calder, you're mocking what you've just been hearing. Why?
Well, it's just fun to be in the front row and the audience for the circus, Piers, to hear this level of hilarious lying and grifting. So he doesn't name you a single race law that genuinely has anything wrong with it. Then he says the problem is implementation. And then he leaps to, oh no, forget that I was talking about laws. The education system is broken. Doesn't show you which law that has racial redress parts into it could have caused that to happen. Piers, let me clear up these actual laws, because what they tried to do was have a deluge of hundreds of laws and hope that nobody would read them. But I went through their list. I actually covered 25 of the 142 laws on my TV show a few weeks ago. Here's what the laws are actually. They're equity and transformation laws to create meaningful fairness. And here's what actually the vast majority of the laws say. They say there needs to be meaningful representation in South Africa to reflect our country fairly on three things, not just one: race, gender, and disability. But these grifters will say that they're race laws. But if you want to follow their argument to its conclusion, why aren't they calling them sexist laws, Piers? There's representation for women right next to race, and why aren't they saying that able-bodied people are completely disadvantaged? Disability is right next to race and sex. This is a grift to call it a race law, when actually, if they are being sincere with what they are arguing, they call them sexist laws too, that are very mean to men, and ability laws too.
So you're not denying that it's race laws, you're just saying that it's more than that.
Settle down, brother. I'm actually going to talk about what these laws actually say. Let me give you an easy example. The Public Services Act, Piers Morgan, here's exactly what it says. It's to address imbalances of the past to achieve a public service that broadly represents the South African people, including representation according to race, gender, and disability. That's on their list. That's on their list. And when it comes to, oh, black people haven't been helped by these laws, that is frankly shambolically untrue. We now have a black middle class in South Africa. Sure, it hasn't helped enough black people, and there's a long way to go. But do you know why we have a black middle class? One of the main reasons why we have a black middle class is that the South African government has hired black people into public service and given them the reliable, deserved jobs that have lifted them out of poverty. That didn't exist 5 years ago, 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30. There is active transformation happening through these policies. Ernst Ruitz is going to complain about extreme examples where there are corruption and kickbacks. And in every single system that happens, and we should try to get rid of them. But he's not been able to show a single sincere problem with any of these laws. He's Googled the word disadvantaged in acts and then called them race laws. But if we're going to follow his argument, why isn't he calling them sexist or anti-able-bodied people?
Every government in the world is as corrupt as the South African government.
let me bring in Gareth.
That's a straw man, my friend. That is a straw man. They are corrupt governments, but you've not shown any problem with the laws. That was your job. Your burden of proof was to show that these laws are race-based or racist, and you failed, brother.